Right. Let's get this started. Out of that.
Wow, so this is the library in Pertin's school. So many people here. They're probably around my age.
A gorgeous sap green dress jumps into the library at SPDM. Its owner keeps talking.
We've also got this many shelves in the library of Sotheby's Manor. Are there any alchemy workshops and potion warehouses here, like in our manor?
Tiptoes around the
I'm
place curiously.
Miss Buenish. Madame Z told me to come here, but she didn't give any other clues. The people here really need Mr. Teaketler, who is always nice and warm to the guests. Just twist his teapot ear, then he can take you anywhere. If not so, placing a luck-a-day potion at the entrance would help as well. If I had made it before I came, Miss Buenish and I might have met by now. Or she will just pop up behind me. Are you looking for me?
The goat Matilda?
Oh my word! Oops, that was too loud. Where are my manners?
I didn't read that.
Nice to meet you. Are you Miss Buenish?
The other girl nods haughtily. The uniform speaks for itself. It seems to be historic first meeting for them.
That's fantastic. How did you find me? Did you see me in the Oniromancy? Or through a crystal orb? Either way, it is the great Arcanum. I'm much greater than that. Look at you, dressed as if you'd just been to a ball. You are as eye-catching as the pigment board on a sketch. I saw you the moment I came into the library. A ball? Does the foundation hold balls too? Non, I'm saying... Est-ce que tous les amis de Vertine parlent comme ça? Ah, never mind. Madame Z told me you wanted to look up the materials on the mysterious school that believes in numbers here. That's right. Miss Moissant told me she will thoroughly check the documents in the Foundation archive. So I'll go through the books in the SPDM library. If we can find anything about that school, we can be of more help to Vertin and her team. I'm sorry, Miss Sotheby, but I'm afraid the situation is going to disappoint you. While you spend the last hour looking for Teaketler's ear, the kind-hearted monitor assistant already gained a valuable access to the library. But I haven't found any records regarding the mysterious school that believes in numbers yet.
Like a bolt out of the blue.
Oh, but Miss Moissant said there are so many books here that they can cover the entire back of a Stronsay beast. That's a bit exaggerated, but she's right. Nevertheless, the librarian was transferred to a more important position years ago due to the storm. Many old books are not yet sorted. Some even went missing in the chaos. The only relevant materials I could find are the stories of Pythagoras and some books on mathematical theorems. But I don't think they have anything to do with Vertin's issue.
What Matilda sees now is a pair of tear-dimmed eyes.
Happens. I can't do anything to help them.
No, you cannot. For now.
Please stop being emotional. It doesn't work on this professional member of the Foundation.
He looks away and clears her throat like a grown up.
Without field investigation permission, I can't take you out to collect information. But in fact, there is still another reference room only known to the most outstanding monitor assistant. Hooray!
Other students in the library class disgruntled glances at them.
To make noises in the library. Please follow me, Miss Sotheby.
Tall shelves, unfamiliar surroundings, an impossible mission. The girls walked through the shelves like fish swimming through the coral.
Thank you so much, Miss Buanish.
Bowanish.
Mentioned ball. I haven't heard that word for a very long time. I remember what Mr. Carson, my butler, had taught me. He said, express your gratitude to fair ladies by holding a grand ball. I'll write to my father and ask for a brand new, unsinkable and maneuverable rock and roll park. I'm sure he will gladly say yes. Maneuverable rock and roll park? Yes. We can hold a twist ball on it when Burton and her team are back. Please allow me to say no. The monitor assistant of SPDM will never participate in such an inelegant activity. Wait, did you just say Burton and her team? We can talk about the ball later. The kind-hearted Matilda Buanish will try her best to help you with the task. But, of course, it's only out of her sense of responsibility, not for some personal reasons.
They go faster and faster. Finally, they reach their destination. Unnecessary information room. The patch the fragment errors in the future. And store the currently unimportant files and reports. People built this reference room in the shape of a box with gray and white walls. During this awful time, which might last for ages, the footnote of history.
Here we are.
That went by a little too fast
Storing unnecessary information
with
in
the pace at which I was reading.
Even so, this careful, reliable monitor assistant will not let go of any details.
She knocks on the rusty sign, haughtily.
I hereby officially appoint you as the Chief Assistant of Monitor Assistant of SPDM. I will take my responsibility and teach you how to become a devoted Foundation member.
Matilda pulls off the cloak covering the archive cabinet. Dust rises in the air.
Here is your first task. Read through these unsorted old files. All of them.
The monitor assistant takes a dusty file from the cabinet. The paper inside has already turned yellow.
I have searched all the archived ones. These are the last parts. Most of them are discarded administrative documents, low-priority materials, and substandard reports written by rookie investigators. By the way, you should know I didn't sort any of them out for you, and they don't necessarily have what you want. It's all right. Leave them to me. I love reading.
Same.
You'd better do. Here's the key. Keep it safe. You can sit on the cushions there when you sort out the files. I don't want your dress to stain the stone bench. I'll go see if I missed any files. Listen, this monitor assistant will test you on your familiarity with these files when she's back.
3 hours later.
Double check completed. Looks like I didn't miss any relevant files. Phew, quite a long day. doubt if that spoiled lady can finish all the materials. She must have been bored and fallen asleep, waiting for her tea kettler in the dream. It takes much more than dancing at balls to be a Foundation investigator.
We probably got it done.
I'll send her back to that teacher when she wakes up. In the end, it will be the kind-hearted Matilda who finishes the task for her. Being a great monitor assistant comes with great responsibility.
Yep, she definitely finished it. Again, Matilda gently pushes the door open. Surprisingly, she is welcomed with an energetic greeting.
Oh, Miss Boanish!
Standing on the ladder, Sotheby gives her a smile with a stack of files in her hand. The files she didn't finish reading are scattered on the ground, while the others have been well organized in the cabinet.
You didn't fall asleep. Did you sort out these files? Yes. And I love these books in uncommon shapes. There are so many wonderful stories. I often read books with Sasana when father wasn't at home. We read and read until the red bombaves woke up the sun. Moreover, these files are much easier than Miss Moisson's reading task. Here, the gentleman from River Conwy tamed a whole group of Avanks. How marvelous is that? Oh, okay. Looks like you meet the basic requirements for being a rookie investigator. Tu es plus ou moins qualifié pour être mon assistante en chef.
The young lady doesn't pay much attention to the mumbles from the monitor assistant. She's busy announcing her big discovery.
And I also found this interesting report. It tells a lot about the storm and the numbers. Will this be helpful to Burton? Show it to me.
She takes a pile of yellow paper from Sotheby. This neat and ordinarily written report has no beginning or end. Obviously, the author is a meticulous person.
It is undoubtedly a violation to submit such a report, but it will be a travesty of the truth and human sense if I cover it up.
Peace, sense, justice. They have always been the creeds in my heart, and are now the reason why I have decided to write down the whole thing. A long time has passed since the first attack of the most severe crisis in our time, but we are still wondering, what on earth does it mean? That was the eve of the millennium, of which no one had any memories, illogically. The next day, time was already reversed to 1996, the moment we opened our eyes. We walked out of the building made of grey and white marble as usual, hardly aware that the sun we bathed in was from another time. Our survival was unexpected and almost unbelievable in such a calamity which swept the globe. Why did the headquarters of the Foundation survive the reverse? Why couldn't we find our younger selves in the outside world? Did any other region survive it as we did? What was the cause behind this calamity? I didn't know, nor did anyone else. Things remained unclear until time was reversed again. This time, we all witnessed that reign in the 80s.
That's cool.
These files Burton needs. I think so.
She says in a trembling voice. This monitor assistant, who's always calm to have a cool head, has never panicked so much.
It's a report written by someone who witnessed the storm. And it has recorded the storms before Burton became the timekeeper.
We continued. Hope science.
before she became the timekeeper? Whoa. So Vertin
It wasn't
born
born
a
a timekeeper.
She didn't tell you that? Wait, no one is born a timekeeper. It's not an inherited title. Anyway, this report includes the secret chronology only accessible to the core members of the Foundation. You can only check it under the supervision of the monitor assistant before you become a qualified investigator.
Matilda dusted off the folder carefully.
No matter what the reason is, it shouldn't have been shoved in this dusty room like rubbish. To evaluate its authenticity and risk, the genius Matilda Boiniche will fulfill her duty as the monitor assistant and carry out a thorough inspection of this report. If you agree to this resolution, please nod, Assistant Sotheby.
The speech is full of terminology Sotheby has never heard of, but it doesn't matter. Based on the tone of the speech, she has already decided to answer.
Yes.
That was 1985. A gloomy, miserable night compared to that peaceful morning in 1996, when we were only bothered by confusion. We didn't expect time to be reversed again, nor did we understand the consequence. Even now, I still remember Paulina's desperate cry. One of her hens was already inside the safe area when she fell at the entrance to the headquarters, and that was the only part of her left to us the next second. The only legacies we found were an engagement ring on that hand and her favorite blue polka dot scarf, which we used to wrap her remains in the end. To be honest, I admired those who still remained calm and sympathized with the arcanists on the edge of mental breakdown. It had nothing to do with the 1/4 arcanist blood in my body. It was only the kind of empathy which all mankind would share out of instinct in the face of a hopeless calamity. We lost many, too many colleagues. In the materials they sent back, we even saw all the horrifying phenomena, such as one's veins turning into electric wires. Since then, the storm, a word simply taken from visual observation, has been used to refer to the calamity. Of course, we can have a word for the calamity itself. But what words should we use to conclude all the absurdity and panic? Before the storm, we were all familiar with time. It was supposed to be a straight line connecting the past and the future. We followed the line to move forward. We broke free from ignorance. We built civilizations. We developed technologies. We promoted the well-being of mankind. And we improved our living conditions step by step. We were so sure that we were making progress on the right path. But then, the path was taken away all of a sudden. Oh, time, our closest old friend, where are you taking us? Back to the two most painful wartimes in the 20th century? The era when no one had ever heard the hiss of steam engines, or the century when mankind was yet to be enlightened? So far, mankind has achieved a lot in history. Dynamos, automobiles, flyovers, railways, hospitals, poorhouses. But if it goes on like this, what is the point of all the efforts we have made? Now we are like a shipwreck left on the island of time, witnessing the fall of the whole modern world in the unstoppable tsunami. Even though the Foundation has lost a lot of staff members, they are still doing fine compared to Laplace. My younger brother was a good example. He was the most sensible person I have ever known. On the first day of the second reverse, he told me, in a calm manner,
"At least we have reaffirmed that Newton was right. There was never an hour of time in classical mechanics. neither in relativity nor quantum mechanics. That means this is absolutely normal. Whether the time goes backwards or forwards, even if it starts spinning around like a tabletop football player, they're not against the law of physics. We can go back in time and give Poincaré a Medal of Great Prophet.
The next day, he almost fell off the 6th floor due to excessive drinking. All the perceptions of time and space developed to this day were overthrown. We couldn't find any theories to explain the storm in any existing researches. There could only be two reasons for this situation. Either we've been completely wrong all the time, or we've come to a brand new world. And this new world can never make sense in the way of science, or that of physics. It cannot be verified by an independent third party, and it is impossible to be comprehended through reasoning. Is it true that we have been going the wrong way? Is it true that those once proven wrong by history, those arcanists who claim to possess gnosis, are actually on the right path? In fact, the one who put an end to the chaos was indeed not a human. This thing, I had no idea what it was. It claimed to be a machine which never stops working. It laughed at the limitations of our brains and the metaphysical mistakes we make ceaselessly. But it did solve the most urgent issue. A system was built to tackle storm-relevant emergencies after it took charge of Laplace. The first measure it adopted was contacting all the existing branches of the foundations at the time to confirm the scale of available manpower. Then it built observation stations all over the globe to find if there were any other regions immune to the storm. After that, numerous offices responsible for deducing the cause of the storm were established. Even though there were countless disagreements during the research, at least we had taken the first step. I handed in the application to take part in this mission, determined to get rid of the fog in my mind. In 1986, I was assigned to the office in Egypt. All my friends came to the dock to see me off, because we knew it could be the final goodbye. Even though we were equipped with the emergency communication devices issued by Laplace, we were still not clear when the storm would assault us, or where we could hide nearby. What really scared me was not the threat to my life, but the possibility of dying ignorant. Then I boarded the ship to Alexandria from Athens. And that was when I met her. Now, when I recall it, it was almost impossible to ignore that group of arcanists on the ship. There were about a dozen of them, all in eccentric stitched robes. They were followers of a strange school which mixes arcanum and mathematics. I talked to them. No matter how much that conversation bewilders me now, I was more excited than confused at the time. They also survived the storm in 1996, and they noticed the unusual changes taking place in the world as well. That means I actually met another group of survivors from the millennium.
She stops turning the pages.
Wait. A school of arcanists who survived the storm?
We continued. Thought I said there was a fight. Oh no, it didn't. Most of the time, language barriers are the least significant obstacles between people. Tower of Babel. Babel.
A mixture of arcanum and mathematics. The ship on the Mediterranean. Unbelievable. Our investigator actually met this group of arcanists who believed in numbers and even left such a precious record down on paper. Does it mean we are close to being helpful to Virgin?
The chief assistant of the monitor assistant lets out a cheer.
Certainly. It's what we deserve for all the efforts today. But why did they leave such an important report in the reference room storing unnecessary information? Did they misput it here after the chaos of the storm?
Putting her confusion aside, Matilda turned to the next page of the record.
Among them, the most easygoing one was Hugh. He was an engineer as well as an arcanist. We shared the same preference for human technology, and that became our common topic. Hugh was in his 30s, red-haired, cheeks sunken, and deeply depressed due to some kind of eye disease. He was a decent man, with a prudent attitude, working at a desk most of the time. He reminded me of the imperial miniature painting artists in the Sultan's palace. Most of them ended up blind after toiling for their life. He showed me the picture of his daughter. I don't have children, but I could feel his happiness as a father. Although I got along well with Hugh, he seemed quite out of place among that group, which was actually led by her. I don't know what words to use to describe her. She was like a meteor shower, a tempest, or an unreasonable catastrophe itself. Her existence was just like her name. It was simple, yet implied a lot. Please forgive me for my cowardice. Even now, I don't have the courage to write down her name, if one would call that a name. In fact, she was quite a kind, warm-hearted person. Among all the unregistered arcanists I've met, she was one of the nicest ones towards the Foundation. She looked young, even though I heard she had a daughter too. Besides, she still possessed the innocence of a child, and that kind of excitement exclusive for genius. That's right. It seemed the whole world was like a sparkling toy to her. Our communication was heart-stirring at the beginning. Both of us were eager to find out what was happening, like two shipwrecked victims grappling at each other on the sea. But I didn't have the slightest idea what she was talking about, actually. The problem was not the typical communication issues between humans and arcanists. I was sure the language we used didn't pose any obstacles, but still I couldn't understand any words of hers. I would believe that one is highly intelligent if one can name all the factors of 11,567 without thinking. But what this one said was illogical nonsense which no one could ever imagine. She claimed that there is a world of numbers, above all else, where the non-physical essences of all things exist in the form of timeless, absolute, unchangeable ideas, and that the physical world where the time flows is nothing but an appendage, which has never been real or true. And that's why the chaos in this world is not worth any attention, and we should focus on what happened to the supreme existence. What an utter disaster combining modern maths with ancient superstition. I saw another hubristic arcanist pretending to be the prophet by reliving Platonism. I don't even bother to mention the balderdash on soul numbers. Even the New Age movement could use some of her absurdity. But that was not yet the end. She even claimed to be aware of the exact year when the next reverse would happen. But when I asked her about it seriously, she said,
"My apologies. I've made an oath. I shall and only shall reveal the demonstration to people who have their own soul numbers."
I'm not sure whether she was making fun of me or being serious, but I had this feeling that she was eager to tell me how she was granted the secret through a moment of afflatus. It seemed she just saw through the laws behind all things instead of finding them through logical deduction.
Can't you see it? It is right in front of you.
After I expressed my inability to comprehend her words 30 times, she finally gave up and proffered regrets. I'd rather take it as a new kind of humiliation. What really irritated me about her, however, was her contempt towards science and all the scientific research methods. As far as I'm concerned, the value of a theory lies in its reliability, universality, and generalizability. Our pursuit of the truth has laid the foundation of modern science, allowing us to change the world. Yet, in her eyes, the value of a theory lies in its beauty. I talked to her on the current situation, and I told her how we would save lives and preserve the hard-earned technology of mankind if we could find the pattern of the storm. It was of course not an easy thing to do and would take enormous manpower, so I asked her sincerely to join the Foundation. Yet again she responded with contempt. She believed they would only become another military squad of the Foundation's.
Darling, maths are beautiful for their uselessness. That's why it remains noble and graceful in this sordid world, despite you humans' reckless action of using it to calculate ballistic.
She turned down my invitation and left an unfairly negative comment on our storm observation project.
The observation stations you built are destined to be toppled because their basis is the fragile world that follows the laws of physics. The efforts you've made are like nails on a sand beach, which will only be carried away by the next tidal wave.
But I said, perhaps our efforts are in vain, but someone has to do it. We will try every corner of the beach before making the conclusion that the world we are living in is already a hopeless ruin.
What a pragmatic, rigorous, and rational speech. But dear, the world is a hopeless ruin.
The conversation ended in disagreement. I don't know why arcanists hate the world so much. Perhaps the reason is they have never been truly accepted. To this day, I still remember her venomous conclusion.
The world built on past experiences has ended. In your words, which you used to mock us, why not embrace the reality?
Yet about the gnosis which she deeply believed in, and the so-called prophecies she made through numbers, she had never given any proofs or details that showed rigorous logic. And the reason for her inactions was an oath she had made before some stone? Therefore I believed her words were only the nonsense of a lunatic. When we first met, I thought she was different from all those psychos, who mistook the malfunction of their prefrontal cortex as the will of God. But they turned out to be the same. In the name of human sense, I swore everything she said was absurd and ridiculous to me. Until...
Tail?
Madame Z said the arcanists on that island are all named after numbers, because they have a strong belief that numbers are the essence of their souls. The investigator wouldn't write down her name. Is it because of the conflict between their beliefs?
Matilda turns to the next page eagerly as if checking a novel brought in by class, some undisciplined student. But the reality welcomes her with an empty page.
Huh? That's all?
That's it? Maybe because the story ends with an abrupt stop, or the hopes just raised dash. Okay, that's too fast.
Submitting such an unfinished report would only cause problems for the reviewers and evaluators. But this investigator didn't even write down their name. Don't worry, Miss Burnish. I'm familiar with this situation. Every time after the brave Typhon defeats Jupiter, he returns to the Auto Island. But each time we twist the ear of Mr. Glassbox, Typhon will show up again and again. Ms. Moisson told me the ear is the key to bringing back our hope.
Wait, don't tell me you are talking about the shows on the mechanical television?
Ignoring the monitor assistant's confusion, the enthusiastic young girl starts looking around.
Stop, Miss Sotheby. Please, take a seat on the cushion and listen to me carefully. This is a detailed report written by a formal investigator of the Foundations, not some TV show full of cliffhangers. That means we will definitely find the rest somewhere.
Oh, I see. Must be a Coco treant who took away the other part of the book. Usually, they will be attracted by Luna Fixer, and by following their traces, we'll find their lairs in the stable.
You mean someone took it away? That's highly possible. Data loss is not allowed in the Foundation, especially under the Monitor Assistant's management.
We must prepare Luna Fixer. Don't forget their favorite jigging magical beans. I don't have those materials with me right now, but I can write to them. It only takes a month.
The disconcerting search. Okay, I tried to read that word. After taking a deep breath, Matilda takes out her crystal orb. An ambitious, an ambitious smile spreads on her face. Oh, reader?
Well done, Assistant Sotheby. Now it's time for the great Matilda to show a little bit of her greatness.
I'm going to turn the volume up a little bit. To be continued. So it seems like this special is just like it's all story. Before I get into the next chapter. Settings. Sound. I'll take it up to 25. Sounds a little low for me. Divination in the day. There's no moonlight during the daytime. But the moon is not the only choice for divination.
Judging from the omen, it's at the northwest, the beginning and the ending of the ring, where the wall reflects repeatedly.
Holding the crystal orb with both hands, Matilda keeps adjusting her position while trying to figure out the vague visions in the spear. Sotheby follows her with a curious face.
The northwest of SPDM. This one is straightforward. The beginning and the ending of the ring is not a problem either. The icon of the computing center is exactly the Ouroboros, a serpent eating its own tail. Here we are. But where the wall reflects repeatedly, does that mean a closed room with mirrors? The mirror in the display center is a huge kinescope in the wall, and the one in the airtight laboratory is a crystal clear observation window. The one in the rehab center? No. The mirrors in the operation room have been replaced with curved electronic screens of steel structure after that Xenopilot made a scene. So, where is the answer?
She is slowly turned around, trying to find the perfect angle for a clear vision. A white figure storms away from her side, almost bumping off the orb she tightly holds.
Hey!
Where did you come from, dork? Wasting
Damn.
my time.
The man groans a curse and hastily leaves the place with hands covering his nose and mouth.
How could he say that? That's rude. That gentleman doesn't look well. He's covering his face. His nose is running with purple liquid. Oh dear. Did he drink a whole bottle of purple Chrysandra juice? He needs treatment immediately. Oh, if only I had brought the Phoenix heart nerves with me. He ran towards the rehab center. Nothing to worry about. Just another patient trying to prove he has recovered.
The hasty man has disappeared completely. The little accident doesn't raise anyone's attention.
The rehab center has all the facilities and medicines he needs. He will be properly treated. But why is he wearing the uniform of Laplace? And where's the receptionist here?
The lobby of the Scientific Computing Center welcomes them with a deafening silence. The counter is no longer busy with people, but with an auto recognition device.
Weekend party night?
Probing around the counter, the temporary investigation seems to be determined to dig out the gaphomone from somewhere.
The researchers here are too busy to do that.
I think I said gaphomore. I
The
don't know.
computing center is working on the most urgent and vital project, the research on the immunity to the storm. We should not disturb them unless it's an emergency. So please stop calling the office and put down the telephone, Miss Sotheby. This is not the ear of a tea kettler, and it won't take you to any twist balls.
Twist what? The monitor assistant can't stand the difference in their terminology anymore.
Je sais qu'il est débutant, mais quand même, il est trop bizarre. Guide new members with caution and patience. Trigger the afflatus at the right time. J'avoue que Verten a remporté une victoire temporaire sur ça.
Jen is doing better than her for now. Her mumbling is interrupted by the owner of the cheerful footsteps.
Miss Burnish, I just read the map on the counter. You mentioned where the wall reflects repeatedly. Does the vision refer to the racquetball center here? You see, its icon is a bouncing ball. Let me take a look. Found it.
Update.
This is really the right direction. Next, empty boxes, glasswares, and copper pieces. Looks like our destination has piles of metal.
Vision in the orb growing clearer, proving that they're heading in the right direction. That eases Matilda's upset mind.
Good job, Assistant Sotheby. I have to say, I might have gone a bit too hard on you. You are more capable than I thought. Thanks to your prompt reminder, we have saved quite some time. Sotheby is glad to help.
Sotheby. The young lady gladly hops along the way while she doesn't give up peering at Matilda's crystal orb.
Miss Burnish, since you're such a talented diviner, why don't you just divine the reason for the storm with your inherited arcanum ability? According to Ms. Moisson, the reason still remains a mystery. If the crystal orb can reveal its truth, everything will be much easier for Vertin and her team. Divine the reason for the storm?
The brave assumption astonishes this great diviner. She almost drops the orb.
Impossible for sure. It's a typical mistake of laymen to believe one can see everything through divination. You are an expert on potions and arcane creatures, but you have little knowledge on other subjects. Haven't you received any systematic education on arcanum? education on Arcanum? I'm, of course, well educated in Arcanum, with Ms. Moisel as my tutor, and my arcane friends such as Typhon from the Auto Island, Jupiter, and... Alright, enough!
She shakes her head, stopping her from listing another name for an arcane creature that nobody has ever heard of.
I have understood the fact that the education you have received is not systematical, or say incomplete, imperfect, inelegant. But don't worry, because you are talking to the kind-hearted Matilda. She will spend her valuable time to make it up for you.
The great monitor assistant clears her throat and starts recalling what she learned when she was 12.
In fact, the system of Arcanum knowledge is not completely separated from that of human science. For example, the modern pharmacy and chemistry actually originated from the experiments of potions and alchemy in the ancient times. They developed into two different systems because arcanists focused more on the knowledge ignored by scientists, which is gnosis. The knowledge we learn from divination is exactly under this category. Wow.
Sotheby's eyes light up with amazement. Matilda takes out her notebook and draws a brief sketch.
Let me fill you in with more details. If two human researchers test Snell's law at two different places at the same time without making any mistakes, they will always reach the same conclusion. Or if two potionists use the same ingredients and follow the same formula to make the cough cough stop stop potion separately, their products will also have similar effects. However, if two diviners respectively perform divination on the same thing, they will probably see totally different visions. Because what the divination shows is merely omens. The interpretation of these omens is in fact a kind of subjective deduction based on the reality, and there is no such thing as a standard answer. Even if the two diviners draw the same conclusion, it is more of a coincidence than a result that implies generalizability. So diviners never check the accuracy of their divination through the review of peers. And this is an example of gnosis. Unlike human sense, it is unique and possesses no universality.
She puts it away and wiggles her index finger.
In other words, even if someone finds out a reason for the storm through divination, they can't have other diviners verify it, because 100 different diviners will give out 100 different conclusions. The scene will be even busier than a concert at Music Verein. That being said, the more possible result we get from the divination is nothing. Divination cannot bring knowledge which the diviners have never learned. The divination of such world-class knowledge, as complicated as the reason for the storm, can only be performed by world-class diviners. We may find one or two diviners like that if time continues to be reversed, like Nostradamus. But he lived in the 16th century. Besides, even Nostradamus is not always right. But Miss Boaniche is! Thanks to your divination, we're getting closer and closer to that report, right? You are right! Finding items, interpreting dreams, and making simple prophecies. All these things are just a breeze for the bright and clever Matilda. But inquiring about the storm is beyond my ability, and it will only bring misfortune. I will never make such a stupid mistake.
Matilda regains her radiant appearance.
In fact, this half of the report and the handwriting of the author are perfect divination media. Besides, our target is not far away from us, and I'm familiar with the surroundings, which have made things much easier than usual. It is true diviners can improve the accuracy and controllability of their gnosis by practicing repeatedly, holding the rituals properly, and making targeted preparations. But that still doesn't mean the result will be absolutely accurate.
Sotheby nods. No one can tell from her face whether she truly understands that announcement or not. Reading the vision in the orb, Matilda leads Sotheby around another corner nimbly.
The report says that person who mentioned the School of Numbers claimed she was enlightened about the year of the next storm. Is that also by divination? I am not sure what kind of arcane skills they used, but numbers are indeed a kind of omen too. I am not talking about the specific knowledge of mathematics, but the numbers themselves, because they are even more abstract than images and languages as kind of symbol. Even so, there is no way for us to verify this prophet unless it really comes true. That is also why it takes almost nothing to spread a prophecy. My mother told me many people in the outside world write to the Foundation every day, claiming to be prophets who can predict the doomsday and thus requesting unemployment benefits. The doomsday? Unemployment benefits? Oh my! The outside world is far more wonderful than I thought. How fascinating! This Boanish is even greater than I expected. You bet! Wait, did you mean I was not the greatest?
That's a no. You are the greatest character. They have reached the end of the corridor. Matilda puts away the orb and looks at a wooden door with no sign in front of it. This is where the visions lead them to, the room next to the racquetball center.
Here we are, Miss Sotheby. Now, this is the moment to verify the result of my divination.
Weak. She opens the door with a slight push. To be continued, they say. The hell? I was gonna say, why is it locked?
If you look at the ground after the rain, you can often see a wet, long trail, like this one. At the end of the trail, there may be a snail slowly crawling forward. Yes, forward. The snail marks the direction for us. But what if we don't see any snails at either end? How are we going to distinguish the direction to the future from that to the past? Criterion. Well said, darling. To figure something out, you always need to make deductions based on facts and logical reasoning. What you see is not necessarily true, but what is logical is, because we haven't witnessed or experienced anything illogical so far. If something like that actually happens, it must be because we are too ignorant to understand it for the moment.
I'm getting used to this voice. I like the other voice too, but I'm getting used to this one.
This point was firmly believed by those researchers who worked in the house like canned sardines. It remained true to them until the first drop of rain rose. The sardines suddenly found that the knowledge they possessed couldn't support the point anymore. The can was open, revealing a completely different thinking pattern to them. Whatever they used to mend the can, there was still a crevice left between the inside and the outside, and it could be ripped open again at any time. The chaos didn't last. If it really was the rain that swept away the snail and messed up time, then we should look at the silver lining. Does it mean we will find out the truth of time once the secret of the rain is revealed? There has never been a shortcut like this one, since time is only an intangible concept. So then, observation stations were built all over the globe. The staff learned how to collect and keep the valuable samples efficiently in no time. The little boxes they used to store the raindrops are still being upgraded even now. Order and silence were brought back to the labs. Every piece of gear was placed back on the right track. It was a grand feat, and no one could have accomplished it inside this huge, cumbersome machine except another machine. She took no sides and sought only predictable results. That's why she made a decision as soon as she read that report and its attachment on her desk. The former was about a delicate component which flapped like a butterfly in that huge machine. And the latter was a piece of paper full of circles and dots. Then she stored the information on her hard disk and destroyed the report. And the paper which claimed to have recorded the locations where the storm might happen, yes, the one with the butterfly-like drawings, was retained for data comparison. It seems she's satisfied with the result.
Okay. We went from talking about a snail to that. The light is dim here. Archive cabinets and unorganized files are everywhere, punctured by strange devices in Laplace style. It seems like an abandoned utility room.
Where are we? Lost and found of the racquetball center?
She waves away the dust and struggles her way along the toppling cabinets.
The orb showed copper pieces. We need to find something that seems to be locked, but is actually not. Aha! Found it! Nothing can stop the genius, Matilda.
She finds what she's looking for in a rusty drawer. Obviously, the report has been here for a very long time. It okay, I got stuck on the word corners,
The trip
and I
to
missed
Egypt
everything.
didn't go smoothly. The ship was hit by a common storm at sea. We were lost in the fog after that, completely off course. Then something emerged from the water. Since the first storm, the Foundation has received frequent sightings of arcane creatures which should have been extinct in history. I had no idea what I was shooting at, even after I emptied the clip. And I didn't know what to do, so the arcanists brought us back on course. She named the precise longitude and latitude of our location, even without using the sextant in the spare cabin. I wonder how she did that. Perhaps the world did look different in her eyes. Then when I was about to step on a random plank on the ship, she suddenly dragged me back. I thought it was only an inappropriate joke. The next second, the plank broke. I was stunned, and asked her how she saw that coming. She just answered me as if we were talking about the weather.
Because that plank is deformed like a rhombus.
I was confused. Where is the rhombus? She laughed.
The rhombus can't be seen with eyes. You shall close your eyes, hearken to the teaching of the Supreme Existence, and seize the moment of afflatus.
Of course, I didn't see anything. Nor did I understand what the moment of afflatus was. Perhaps it's just another privilege enjoyed by arcanists, just like their right to be lunatic. Nevertheless, she reached the correct conclusion in a completely wrong way. Is it really possible? Anyway, she saved my life. But that was not enough to settle the differences between us. She remained rejective to working with the Foundation, and I finally gave up on the attempt to persuade them. My mission on that trip was not to make contact with them. Besides, what we needed was builders of the storm observation system, not some liars who would only make things worse. As for the shelter they took from the storm, She wouldn't say a word, as if she were dealing with a spy who pried to find out the deepest secrets of the Arcanists. In the end, Hugh mediated between us. He gave me an address in Istanbul to which I could send the letters to contact them. After that, I spent more than half a year in the Egypt office. Things were even worse there than I expected. Some have gone missing after the storm. The people who were supposed to be in the Egypt office, according to the member list stored in the headquarters in 1985, were not there when I arrived. The situation could be caused by the limitations of the transmission of paper-based materials, or because the computer was not yet popularized to every corner of the globe at the time. One minor mistake of a copyist could develop into a huge difference. Besides that, the chaos inside Laplace was an even worse issue. I learned that someone published the paper Samplings of Global and Regional Chaotic Energy Route Changes in the name of Butterfly of Lorentz. Apparently, they secretly used our sampling sites, yet their research direction and conclusion were radically different from Laplace's. The researchers equally divided into two schools. One sticking to the human technology they have focused on, and one changing their direction to Arcanum. At the time, it was still too early to decide which direction was right, without sufficient experimental data. But many already believed that if time continued to be reversed, human technology would only keep falling into decline, while Arcanum, which relies on personal ability, would rise again. It's true that gnosis cannot be copied, verified by an independent third party, or comprehended through reasoning. Its nature decides that it cannot lay the foundation of science or be popularized to every ordinary person. It takes solid marble to build a castle, not slippery sand. Even so, what harm will it do to rely on Arcanum when the underlying logic of all things has become unreasonable? Before the disagreement was settled, the storm in 1987 was predicted. We were ordered to return to the headquarters 24 hours before its arrival. But the prediction was not accomplished by Laplace. A captive from Manus Vindictae names the precise date of that storm. Our enemies, those lunatic xenophobes, valuing only pure blood, made it further than we did. Yes, we built observation stations. We made countless deductions. We developed multiple simulation models. We made efforts. We sacrificed life. We did whatever we could. Yet the result was that we didn't find any other regions immune to the storm, except the headquarters and another one in North America. In the end, 95% of the branch members were reversed. 87.9% of the equipment was destroyed, and 100% of our predictions failed. In conclusion, our endeavor brought no achievements. As for the captive from Manus Vindictae, the delirium patient who claims that oracles flowed under his parietal bone, when we asked him how he learns the precise date of the storm, he burst into laughter.
Can't you hear it? Has God left you behind when he spread his grace?
Then he smashed his own skull with a handcuff.
Damn.
Yes, there was no doubt. He was an incurable lunatic. But his insane nonsense was exactly the reason we survived the storm again. No matter how unreasonable or illogical it was, or how much a lie it sounded like. So we'd better believe we shouldn't go out in black today because the fish is swimming in the water. We'd better believe in the existence of the non-physical, everlasting, transcendent world where everyone's soul is a number. We'd better believe in the supreme existence which caused the disorder of time by merely casting its shadow. That means the life of individuals means nothing more than rubbish, and the world is but an imperfect ruin, where only the chosen ones will pass the trial, where the rest will be eliminated by the rain. How am I supposed to do that? Finally, I made up my mind to write to her. I didn't expect her to answer my questions. All I wanted was to confirm if she had survived that storm. For the sake of our peaceful talk about Zerombis. Yet what I heard from them was a simple announcement of her death, with only 2 words. She died. Then it burned and turned to ashes in a second. On the same day, the first and only timekeeper who just took office, the 12-year-old child, returned alone from the storm. She told us the time in the outside world at that point. And that was how I knew she was right.
It is right in front of you.
What? If there is a God, why are you playing such a prank on us? After we had suffered from the collapse of all the existing orders and the failure of all the great laws. If this is what she calls a glimpse of the supreme existence, the moment of a flatus, do you have to present it in such a cruel way? The last 2 digits in the number of the year after that storm were exactly her name and her number. 77.
That's cool. The report ends here. 2 digits. That's the full stop of the story.
Incroyable! Incroyable! C'est vrai! Quelqu'un a vraiment fait cette prophétie! Ertin and Soneto will be thrilled to know what we found! Well done, Miss Sotheby! You performed as well as a formal investigator! We need to submit this report to your instructor immediately!
Grabbing the papers tightly, Matilda turns around with excitement. Sotheby isn't the person standing there.
What are you doing in other people's rooms?
The fuck is this, Chad? The report is snatched away.
This is my personal item. You have no rights to take it. Please leave immediately.
Personal item? This is a precious record that should have been submitted to the Foundation. According to Administration and Regulations for Dispatch Personnel, St. Pavlov Foundation Decree number 259, every member of the Foundation, when acting as a field investigator, is required to create a comprehensive investigation report of all their actions and promptly submit it.
And they are obliged to ensure the authenticity, objectivity, and impartiality of the report. No personal bias is allowed in the content. If you have read this report, miss, you should know that it's not even qualified to be filed.
But this is an emergency!
The Storm Reformation Act is still new to her. She can't think of any articles to support her point of view. She racks her brain for words, but before she makes it, the other person starts talking, with one of his eyebrows raised.
I can tell from your uniform you are a student of SPDM, or... This is Laplace. Do you have your guardian's approval to leave the school, Miss Underage Student?
Approval? I don't need that. I am not a student. You are talking to the exceptionally promoted monitor assistant of SPDM. Here is my ID.
She holds her ID high as if she's holding the flag of liberty. But she is ignored. The adult walks directly to the swivel chair in the room and pays attention to an educational toy on the table.
Did you just ignore a formal administrator of the Foundation? This monitor assistant will report every misbehavior of yours. Every little bit of them.
Wordless, the monitor assistant can't be more embarrassed in her life. She looks around just to find that Sotheby is gone. Luckily, the chief assistant learns faster than she expects. The familiar sing-song tone is making a report for her own.
Miss Moisson, we found that report here. The great Miss Boo and I discovered some important information. I I came to you and Madame Z immediately after we read it. Hmm? Miss Boniche, why are you confronting Mr. Chair?
Sotheby stands at the door. Her head is tilted. Two adults are behind her.
I didn't expect to see the second half of that report here in your room, Adler.
This time, the owner of the voice can't be ignored. The swivel chair unwillingly turns around.
Don't call me that, friend. Why not just call me Enigma? Just like everyone else. Relax. I know nicknames mean no harm. But I don't understand. How is a report filled with meaningless words of any concern to you, Madam Z?
It provides information about the Arcanist group Virgin is now dealing with. If possible, please give it to me.
Of course. How can I turn down a request from Constantine's chief of staff? Take it away. I hope you don't mind the mold on it.
The researcher stays seated on the chair and casually hands out the report. Madame Z smiles. She seems glad to see that Enigma still has the energy to be sarcastic, but clearly the monitor assistant can't tolerate such a blatant violation of the staff regulations.
Pay attention to your manners and do not bring disgrace to the computing center, Mr. Rude.
Taps on the shoulder and quickly looks in the direction of the door.
Ms. Buoniche? Ms. Sotheby? You've done a great job. I'm sure what you have found would be of great help to Timekeeper. And I will report your active performance in this mission to SPDM as soon as possible, Ms. Buoniche. We need to further analyze the files you found. The first on the scene could provide more detailed information. Let's get out of here.
Contribution exceptionnelle!
The keywords give this young monitor assistant a giddy pleasure. She can't help but ignore everything else Miss Masson says.
Oh là là, exceptionnel! No, no. Calme-toi, Matilda. I didn't accomplish it alone. Assistant Sotheby also played a significant role. Hooray!
A loud cheer interrupts Tilda's mumbling.
That is to say, Miss Boniche, we can start preparing the balloons and flowers for the twist ball. Speaking of which, this monitor assistant still needs to think about it. By the way, just call me Matilda.
She struggles to get out of Sotheby's passionate hug. The great joy brought to Miss Masson makes her actions clumsy. The cheering and discussing, the girls leave the room. Madame Z carefully puts the valuable report away. The researcher swivels the chair again and hides himself in the fortress made of dusty items. He talks through cabinets,
There will be no
equipment.
advance in human technology. You think so? Even the Madame Z has given up on the study of theoretical physics and become a politician.
No, I've never thought of that.
She turns to the door with a faint smile. Click. The door's closed. Continued. Oh. A new steam whistle sound, okay? Guessing this is the last part of the story. I'm getting that. Or I'm close to it. The dramas have ended. All is profoundly hushed in this cold and dark room. The researcher sighs and starts settling the messy papers and dusty tools on the table. Why is it mistaken for a utility room? Is it because of the mess? Metallic footsteps come from outside the door.
I am astonished by the fact that
Holy
you are
shit.
interacting with others.
It's a robot. Another trespasser.
They broke in.
The robot in charge of the lab-based scientific computing center shrugs and refuses to make any comment. She has already heard all the information she needs in the corridor.
If it was a complaint that you were making, you know it is within your rights to submit an interdepartmental complaint within 7 days after the incident.
Don't bother. That file means nothing to me. I didn't file it because it is a report against the rules. Why bother to submit such a log full of personal feelings and emotional behaviors to our great, rigorous foundation?
Is that so? I am gratified to find that you still have some sense.
I too am gratified that you still have no idea that I was being sarcastic.
Oh, that was sarcasm.
Never mind. What do you want from me, Madam Lucy?
He asks as he bends down and organizes the papers scattered all over the place. This is the best effort he cares to make to receive a guest.
You went all the way to this dusty, rundown place so hurriedly that you even forgot to put on that pathetic mask. This is not because of some old files, I assume.
The faceless robot inclines its head in agreement.
Certainly. I hope you can be the cryptographer of the Manus Vindictae's ritual. You are still the best.
You are asking me, a human, to decode the ritual of a pureblood arcanist group? I don't see how I'll be helpful to this project.
You cannot evaluate your own level of being of value, Adler.
The researcher keeps unfolding more dusty folders without raising his eyes from the table.
Well, you evaluate our value. Test us in experiments you set. Prove the hypotheses by exhaustion. Make mistakes and start all over again. You repeat the process like a roaring locomotive that pulls the research center out of this chaotic disaster. You question not what is ahead of you, nor whether the path you've taken will be regular or easy. The only idea you planted into your little brain is to move forward, to improve.
Thank you for your compliment. Credit goes to everyone.
That was not even a... Ismirgal. Guess you agree, a life without creativity is not worth living. And that's the life that I wake up to every day. I'm no longer the person you thought you came here for. I'll never be able to combine human technology and Arcanum. And I'll never comprehend even the slightest part of it. I am useless to you.
He squares up the papers on the desk in a grumpy manner, making a huge knocking noise.
I don't expect someone made of tin to understand the human mind. But I beg of you, leave me alone.
The robot ignores his emotional speech and keeps talking.
The work of analyzing the masks of Manus Vindictae did not go well. A side effect occurs in the researchers, and it is getting worse. The isolation wards on the basement level are overwhelmed.
What a scene. Have you aborted the experiment?
Not yet. We have conducted the Arcanum imaging experiment on the masks, and found a component which also exists in the raindrops of the storm. But knowing what it is composed of does not help explain how it works. What we're looking for is the original ritual that the Manus cast on them.
You are trying to figure out one's career planning from one's physical examination report. I wonder why it is not working. Even if somehow you manage to find the original ritual, you still need a proper environment to test it, which is the outside world with a coming storm.
The researcher turns to her. Wisdom and sarcasm glow in his eyes.
That's why we can't tell if we're getting results. Even if we had the right ritual, proper permission from the Foundation to travel, and strong-minded volunteer subjects, experiments performed in the Ivory Tower won't succeed because...
An experiment about the storm can only be done in a storm. Glad to see your brain is not rusty yet. It only took you 3 sentences to draw the conclusion which took the seminar a week to reach. That proves you are capable of the project.
The robot in charge puts a document on the table.
The history maintenance team has forecast different critical points of this storm.
That Marcus?
Foundation investigators are on their way. If Manus Vindicte still plans to accelerate the storm, like what they have done in 1929, there will be a high possibility that their people will show up at the transformation point of history and society, also known as the critical point of time, the center of the storm. Your sister, Greta Hoffman, is also one of the investigators.
I have no interest in any Hoffmans other than myself. We have different perspectives.
It is okay. I am just here to inform you that if any of the investigators successfully send the information of the ritual back, the research about the immunity of the storm will be conducted immediately. Take your time and be mentally prepared. But once the storm alert is issued, we only have 24 hours to verify the feasibility of the ritual. I wish you will be fully prepared by then.
The robot gets out of the room, leaving him no right to choose. Her feet crash into the floor, making a steely sound. Enigma's eyes flicker towards the documents. The face on top is familiar to him. He pulls out the drawer and takes out a scrap of paper. This is the last code he didn't give anyone.
For sure now. The age of humans has come to an end.
I am. The end. So that was the last one. Okay. Unlock this. Okay. What I'm going to do next is this here. Do this. Let me change the title of the stream though. Hell, what does that even say? La Primavera. Vera. Hope I spelled this right. Firenze. Okay. Save. About time we do this. I need to get this mother effers his equipment. Particles of chaos. So let my dogs explain it to you. After all, he isn't one to reply on intuition. Out of this. I ain't reading all that.
It started to rain.
Oh my. We nearly walked into the rain without any protection. The observer instruction book should have told us to bring our equilibrium umbrella.
No need for excess perspiration. The rain you're seeing is completely dissimilar to the storm. Just a byproduct generated by this device, the Huygens Fresnel Interferometer. It was built to observe the interaction between particular entities and chaotic systems.
So, this device about our heads is an interferometer?
That's right. We'll be utilizing it during our experiment that, to jog your memory, you volunteered for. Thanks for that, by the way. Miss Regulus and Miss Sotheby already went in ahead of you. You'll probably find them in the world you're going to. Now, prepare for an enthralling adventure.
The two lab rats don't match the experimenter's enthusiasm.
The instruction book says this machine sends our minds to other worlds, and the destinations are particular to a time and place. Do I have that right?
Wow, you actually did your homework for once. Yep, it's true. These particular sorts of places have many names. Quantum superposition, simulated worlds, space-time bubbles. Call it whatever you like. I kind of like the name Stage in the Rain.
Stage in the Rain sounds lovely. This apple can't wait to visit a new world. Now, how do we begin? Are there any experimental procedures we must go through? Let me guess. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and walk clockwise in a circle 3 times.
X offers an amused laugh at Apple's natural
No
humor.
need. Besides, how would I get you to walk in a circle?
Well, this apple doesn't see a problem. With that said, if you have no strict procedure, what exactly are you intending with this experiment? Is it a novel scientific experience, or just a jolly bit of fun?
Oh, it's a serious experiment. One in which I propose to examine the very randomness that we usually attempt to avoid. As you stand on the stage, breathing in and out, the raindrop's behavior should start to change.
Because I'm breathing on the stage?
More precisely, because you exist on the stage. Go ahead and touch the raindrops.
Apple taps on one of the raindrops that hang in the air as if it were a miniature
What?
heart. The raindrops are chaotic at first, but a pattern emerges as they bounce off and spin before the red fruit, giving off a soft glow. On the surface, they could be mistaken for any other raindrop, yet ancient secret hides within their apparent randomness.
See? You're so much more than an external spectator. You were able to affect the system. Your actions, including your observations, no matter how inconsequential they may seem, can lead the system to produce unequivocally varied results. All right, now...
Numbers pop up on the screen at a blinding pace. X widens his eyes to
Loading
keep something.
complete. Subjects in position. Great. See you later. Have fun.
Bottles loaded. Activating chaos particles. 97.6%, 98%, 99.9%. Entering the stage in the rain. Nothing is true, everything is permitted. The snore fruit's consciousness traveled through a dark, raining area to arrive where he is now, just as rain disappears. He
You're certain
catches
of this?
onto the sound.
Unquestionably. Listen, what you hear now is the turbulence of air as it passes through its airway. As the soft tissues within vibrate, they produce a familiar sound. It is snoring. This condition is commonly reckoned to be caused by a disorder of black bile in the body, though I would posit anatomically speaking that it is nothing more than the relaxation of throat muscles during deep slumber. We know what snoring is. What we want to know is how an apple can snore.
Apple?
A strangely dressed man is standing by Apple's side, surrounded by a group of soldiers. The wall they form has blocked all exits. With curiosity and caution in their eyes, the man and the soldiers stare at the helpless fruit who has been pinned to an altar.
Good day, gentlemen. I believe I owe you thanks for this generous hospitality, unusual as it may be.
Did you hear that? It appears to have spoken. If that's so, then no wonder it can snore.
Enough. Speaking, snoring, it doesn't matter. We didn't hire you to lecture us on medicine.
Hire, you say? That's an odd way of putting it, after you cracked my ribs and hauled me here from Milan. I think some might instead call that kidnapping. I think I've caught a fever.
Stop whining. We barely bruised you. It was probably just the bumpy roads on the way to Firenze.
Firenze? Am I in Italy? Gentlemen, may I ask where I am and who you are?
You're the most curious apple I've ever known. Of course, we're in the great city of Firenze, Penisola Italiana. These gentlemen you refer to here are known as the Templars. As for me, I am Leonardo da Vinci. Though please, call me Leonardo.
Wait, Leonardo?
The sun shining in front of the windows illuminates the man's gentle smile.
You're Da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci, the great painter.
But please, as I said, I prefer just Leonardo. Leonardo the inventor or Leonardo the engineer? Perhaps even the anatomist. I should hope there is more to my reputation than just painting.
Leonardo's smile doesn't waver at all as the blade of his scalpel glints under the sunlight.
Va bene. It's safe to conclude you must be the mythical apple they've been looking for. I've never heard of any other talking apples.
And I must conclude you are indeed the Leonardo da Vinci. Although, if I might ask, Leonardo, what are you planning to do with that scalpel? And might this apple request you point it some other way? You see, pointing a knife at someone is seen as somewhat unfriendly where I'm from.
Please, do not worry, signore. This scalpel is a very delicate instrument, one of my favorites. Cold, sharp, and painless. One swift cut and it will find its way straight through the skin down to your core without spilling a drop of juice.
Leonardo leers closer to Apple.
Allow me to be honest with you and state things clearly. I have been asked to cut you into quarters so that I might record the makeup and consistency of your inner flesh. Crisp, I'd wager. Next, I'll soak your pieces, into a special solution so that I might... Oh, mi rincresce. I always get a bit excited whenever I start talking about my work. Now, hold still, Signore Golden Apple.
Leonardo reaches down towards the pinned apple, his smile increasingly less gentle and more wild.
Just a little slice.
They're trying to kill Apple. That's great. Oh, we're about to beat them up. Let's beat up Da Vinci.
Keep the sample.
There he is.
This devil twirls about like a fly. Get it!
The devil tours about like a fly.
Of course I do. This apple won't go down without a fight.
You're overreacting, Senor Apple. I was only kidding.
Your jokes seem rather lethal to me.
Wait for the right sharp
A good point.
into the dark.
Just do that.
It will be over before you feel it. I'm an artist of steel.
Taking another look?
Non voltarti indietro.
Damn. This, is he writing down stuff? You guys are losing.
Time to heat up the forge.
A new hypothesis.
Oh, I forgot.
A good point.
Oh, hi.
8th Street style.
We worked on this collaboration together.
Otto.
Stop this madness. I'll have you know what you're about to do is a severe violation of the Geneva Convention.
What the devil are you talking about? I'm growing more and more curious about you.
The apple breaks free from his restraint and bounds around the room. But there is nowhere to hide, and the little fruit is eventually cornered.
Oh no, calm down. We can solve this in a civilized manner, can't we? Like proper gentlemen.
There is no need for propriety when dealing with witchcraft, like whatever created you. Now, if you want to save yourself some pain, I suggest you stop.
I feel like I'm in a nightmare. What in the world could you want with this apple for?
I can answer that. These gentlemen believe you to be the key to a rumored secret chamber. Of course, to prove their theory, they hired me to figure out just what it is that you are.
Leonardo bends down low, as if about to pick him up, but instead he leans close and whispers.
Don't intend to hurt you. Just cooperate for now. Help is on the way.
Help?
Before Apple can say more, Leonardo straightens up and shakes his head.
Oh, I do apologize, gentlemen. But I think there might have been a misunderstanding.
You expect us to believe that?
An emotional voice comes from the corner, followed by a towering man in armor.
Perhaps you've forgotten. Months ago, a golden apple was found floating in the Arno by a fisherman. Being a faithful man, he brought it to the church, and there something strange happened.
Strange? What are you talking about? I'm only an apple.
The Templar commander raises his chin at Leonardo.
You, demonstrate for our guest.
Leonardo puts on a long face.
I've already demonstrated it a dozen times.
The towering man rests his hand on the sword at his waist, tilting it forward with intent.
But of course, I would be glad to demonstrate once more, Signore.
Whoa! Please, be careful.
Leonardo picks up Apple and paces the room, trying to find the right angle beneath the sunlight. The soldiers are leaning against the wall, enjoying a reprieve from the heat outside. As soon as Leonardo raises Apple, however, they all stand straight up and stare at him.
Found it. The perfect angle.
Leonardo walks to the fresco, looking at the blurred faces of the figures on it.
Who are they?
Personas conosciuta.
Persons unknown. Their identity is plainly a mystery to everyone in the room. They do not appear to be the sort that would usually be recorded in the annals of history, and there is a subtle hint to their identity beyond their vintage. Nothing that might indicate the artist's intent in depicting them.
Is that all? According to this apple's experience, you should only need to cast an incantation to reveal the details.
Call it magic, miracle, or trick as you like. All that I can see is a mystery that must be unraveled. Now wait.
What for?
For the perfect ray of light.
After the sun sinks below the horizon, a particular beam of light travels through the golden apple, turning into warm light. As the light reaches the fresco, the blurred faces are suddenly illuminated. And so the miracle is recreated.
Blimey! What's going on?
It is beyond me to explain what I am seeing here. I've examined both the wall and your skin for some time, but found nothing. This may truly be a miracle.
Gentlemen, there's a line of letters down there.
Oh, it's nothing but a Caesar cipher. I can decode this in no time. Let me see. Sub cadente fulgore, cadencia sanctuaria, coniunguntur. Under the waning glow, the waning sanctuaries unite.
To be continued. Alright, this thing is 4 hours long. I don't know how many parts it has though. It's like 20. Maybe more. I ain't reading that.
I beg your pardon. What's that song those children are singing about?
Buongiorno, signorina. You look a little out of place here. Might I guess you are a traveler like me?
Of a sort. Yes, mister.
Most excellent. I always enjoy an opportunity to guide a newcomer.
Strangely out of place, merchant clears his throat and begins again.
The famed poet once claimed that Firenze was the most beautiful and renowned daughter of Rome. I suppose it is for that reason that many travelers come here, seeking the source of that claim, searching for the lost treasures of a fallen empire.
He leans in and lowers his
But
voice.
I hear a rumor now that people are pursuing a new target in our dear Firenze.
Could you mean this golden apple? It seems like everyone is talking about it.
Just so. It seems you know a little bit more about this rumor than you've let on. There are those that say the apple can reveal a miracle when raised before certain frescoes in the city. Since then, a dark cloud has gathered over us. For now, there are many here that seek the Complaners' treasures.
The Complaners? That's quite the unusual name. Were they singers of some sort?
They say they were a heretical cult, one that gathered in the city to sing heretical liturgies at dusk, hence the name. And apparently, they stashed away their relics in a secret chamber, somewhere in the Duomo di Firenze.
The book merchant points at towering dome of the cathedral. Cathedral. Oh, I said cathedral. She stands in the center of Florence, like a queen presiding over her kingdom.
Apparently, they would go there to perform unspeakable acts of evil, defiling the beautiful dome.
The book merchant looks around and makes a gesture of horror.
But the rumors say the relics they've hidden there are worth an incalculable fortune. Bah, all you need to know is it's worth a lot. Enough, they say, that the one who finds it would be wealthy enough to buy the whole Firenze.
Are you serious? You're suggesting there is enough money hidden there to buy a city? That's absurd.
The book merchant strokes his beard and laughs.
How do you think the Medici took control in the first place? Money! It can buy art, soldiers, even the papacy. Compared to that, what's so odd about buying a city?
I see. A secret chamber with treasures. I do believe I've heard this tall tale before.
Oh, have you now? Well, have you ever heard of a story where the secret entrance to this chamber can only be found through messages hidden in frescoes?
That is a new embellishment on the story. I suppose then that must be why this golden apple and its miracles have everyone's attention.
Brava, signorina. So, you must be one of those treasure hunters, I guess?
In a way, yes.
I knew it. But I'm afraid you have your work cut out for you. The dome is larger than you might think. This isn't something you can find searching palmo a palmo. The only way to find the chamber is to solve the mystery of the frescoes.
Then it looks like I will need some help.
The book merchant lights up as she speaks. The next second, he thrusts a delicate manuscript
And this is certainly
somewhere.
the help you need. It includes copies of all the frescoes that reacted to the golden apple. It has a silk cover, tempera painting, and gilded edges. Buy it now, and I'll throw in a free collection of Dante's poetry. Trust me, traveler, with this, you will find the treasures you seek.
Hold on. If you've already collected all this information, why aren't you looking for the treasure? Wealth enough to buy an entire city. I have to wonder why you would pass up that opportunity.
I'm no treasure hunter, signorina, nor do I think the life of a prince would suit me. I'm content making a living selling the keys to this fortune to others. The price is usually 10 florins, but as you are my 8th customer today, you know, in Firenze, the number 8 is said to bring good luck and eternal hope. That is why the Battistero di San Giovanni and the Duomo di Firenze have octagonal domes. So, for you, 8 florins. No, make that 5. The most detailed and useful manuscript around for just 5 florins. You don't want to miss out.
Sorry, but I don't have any money with me.
The merchant goes silent, the air between them painfully tense. At last, he slaps the manuscripts down from his stall.
How could you make it all the way to Firenze without a florin on you? Ridiculous! I've no more time to spend on you, signorina. Best you get back to your hunt.
Hold on. I heard that this golden apple could talk, and even fly in the air. It might have something to do with my missing friend. It sounds like I need this manuscript in order to find him. So, is there anything I can do for you? I can handle any issues related to magic. We could do an exchange. My magical services for your manuscript.
He stops herself, waiting for a signal from the man. The merchant offers no trace of sympathy.
Not interested. No, go away.
That's just about everything I know about the Complaners, the secret chamber, and the relics.
I see.
The man's words are too much information for the little fruit's nerves to handle at one time.
We've gone to great effort to acquire you, Apple. Before us, you've been traded to the Palazzo, then San Marco, and even the Thieves' Guild.
And me?
The armored man kicks Leonardo, roughly sending him sprawling from the ground into a nearby wall.
Less talking, more slicing. From now on, you do as I say. Understand?
A small trickle of blood seepers from a fresh cut on Leonardo's head, but there's nothing he can do but compose himself with a bitter smile.
Si, capito.
And what about me? Do you ruffians intend to beat this apple into compliance?
Yes.
We don't have to. You're as good as dead out there. Here, we might just keep you alive if you have some use. Not that it matters. You don't have a choice.
Sir, incoming.
Soldier falls to the ground before he finishes the words, the veins on his face turning green.
What?
Damn.
It's poison. Assassins!
Assassin's Creed?
He must be on that roof.
An eagle glides low just above the cathedral. The cathedral, I mean.
An eagle. It's rare to see one in the city, isn't it?
He's here. Our rescuer is here. Ezio!
A man in a gray hood jumps down on two soldiers precisely. Two blades penetrating their chest.
Ezio Audito. Assassin.
Their hearts stop before they even fallen. A crimson splash covers the ground near them. The assassin withdraws his blade in a fluid, almost casual movement, as if he had done nothing at all. He lowers his head reverently.
Che la morte non sia crudele. Requiescat in pace.
Something.
Easier to fight here than a back alley.
Counter. Counter.
Wait for the right.
A good point.
It will be over before you feel it.
My turn.
You see it coming.
Dang. Dead. Dead.
May the Father have understanding guide us.
I was gonna say, is there more? More and more soldiers rush in through the gates of the monastery.
It seems I underestimated their strength. We need to get out of here straight away.
Do we? Leonardo points at Apple, who's still trying to figure out what's happening.
We should split up, Ezio. Here, take him with you. You know where to find me.
Nessun problema, amico.
Get him! Get them all!
Leonardo!
Don't worry. He is an honored guest of the Duke of Milan. They might chase him, but they dare not harm him in public. But we are not so lucky. Now let's go.
Well, it seems like this apple doesn't have much of a choice. You, at least, seem more polite than my previous captors.
Apple climbs on the assassin's shoulder. Ezio enters the sprint but effortlessly scales something.
They've gone towards the palazzo. Capture them!
You're welcome to try. Hold tight.
W voice actor?
Sure. Whoa.
The assassins navigate Florentine Bruce with as much ease as a fish through the water. Soon enough, they lost their trail.
See that? Up on the roof. I think I saw something gold. Gold? Is it a golden apple? Get them!
One pursuer, two pursuers, three. More and more citizens join the hunt. The streets of Florence have never been more chaotic.
Get out of my way! Goodness me! I've never felt so popular. This must be what the captain feels like. Pardon me, but would you mind speeding up a little? I'm beginning to feel a little like a turkey on Christmas Eve.
Turkey? It doesn't matter. Speed won't help us now. They're everywhere. But there's still a way out.
Ezio casts his eyes up to the top of the tower of the palazzo. 20 minutes later.
I think we're safe now. This apple certainly appreciates your climbing skills. No one can reach us up here.
Alert but silent, Ezio scans their surroundings.
Don't be too confident of that. The Templars have learned to climb after so many years chasing us. They can show up on the roof at any time.
I see. Then this apple will keep alert and ready for danger.
The sun hangs low in the sky, slowly sinking into the embrace of the evening. Scarlet clouds and golden sunlight blends into one another on the horizon, spilling onto every little tile and brick of the ancient city. Beneath Ezio's feet, countless rooftops from a red expanse spreading out the city. He looks down in silence, feeling like a bird gone astray.
This is truly an amazing view.
Firenze. It's been too long.
Not far away, the cathedral stands in tall solemn, towering from blurred golden lights of the sun setting. And with the sunset, her shadow extends until it was covered nearly half of something.
Is it really
Half the city?
hidden?
See, I believe so. I've spent some time searching. I've even explored its catacombs. But I haven't any idea where it might be.
Ezio gazes out at the perfect
This
art of
secret
dome.
chamber is what truly matters.
To be continued. You.
I nearly forgot to introduce myself. My name is Apple. I owe you my thanks, sir.
Ezio Auditore.
Ezio.
Just Ezio is fine.
Ezio.
Of course, Ezio. This apple is something of a visitor from far away.
Ezio nods.
Is that so? You know, you haven't gone unnoticed. I heard word of you from my allies many months ago. They've been tracking you for some time.
I was being followed. Blimey.
We might have never even known you were anything but an ordinary fruit, if you hadn't started talking in your sleep. Leonardo has told you what's going on, see? Is there anything you don't understand?
Anything? Everything! These Templars, the Compliners, the frescoes, and you, for that matter!
The wind seems to carry his voice far further than it should.
I know your friend was only stalling for time, but he all but scared the life out of me when he came at me with that scalpel.
There are many things that need explaining. For now, you need only know that these men are Templars, ancient enemies of the Assassins. The war between us has lasted a long, long time. I fear it will never end.
I see. Isn't there a more peaceful way to solve this? Too often, violence only treats the symptoms while letting the disease grow.
I wish there was, but no. Too many have died to the ambition of the Templars. Even my own.
Ezio pauses, hanging on the next
Still,
word.
there is wisdom in what you say. Violence has a habit of making things worse.
Cooking?
But there is a chance now to end this. To destroy them once and for all. So that no one else must suffer.
Ezio puts his right hand on his chest and bows to Apple.
I'm sorry we dragged you into this, Signore Apple. But we must not let the Templars get the relics. So, we need to know where you stand.
You and Leonardo seem to be close.
The statement confuses Ezio, who eyes Apple looking for some glimmer of intent until...
Yes, we've known each other for a long time.
Great. Then you have my full trust.
Hmm?
Apple clears his throat.
I am certain that Leonardo is a good person. If the history books, my intuition is anything to go by. So, I believe that one of his close friends must also be trustworthy.
Oh?
The assassin smiles.
Good to see my charm hasn't dulled. Grazie for your trust.
Before we go, please allow this apple to make a request.
Anything, amico. I am at your service.
Same.
When I first came to Florence, I was supposed to be with some friends, but we were separated. Would you help me find them? And keep them safe, if need be?
Yes.
Given the circumstances, I worry this city may become quite dangerous for them.
Nessun problema.
Then I must repay your grazie, sir.
If we succeed here, then there is nothing I could do that will ever compare to what the world will owe you.
This apple is only too happy to help. I'm certain the captain would be jealous if she found out I was so sought after. But this apple enjoys a little attention too sometimes.
Everyone has their moment in the sun. When the time comes, even the least of us can change the course of history.
He holds his hand out.
So then we are agreed. Uniamo le forze.
The evening glow witnesses an agreement between an apple and an assassin.
Naturalmente.
Leonardo will be waiting for us at his workshop. Are you ready?
Ready for what? Our visit? Oh, by Jove. Perhaps I should prepare a gift first.
Ezio walks to the edge of the scaffolding with purpose. He crouches, looking down at the busy street beneath their perch. In that moment, he looks almost like an eagle searching for prey.
Are you ready to jump?
No?
From here. Down there. This apple can fly, of course, but from this height, I doubt you would survive. I suggest we find another way.
Why waste time?
The wind blows past their ears. The assassins grab the golden apple and leaps into the air with all of the confidence of an eagle taking flight. I knew it. The air reeks of straw and soil. They land with precision in a cart full of hay.
This apple may have experienced some anoxia during our fall. I'm so dizzy.
Shh. Quiet. Don't give our hiding spot away.
Night has fallen. The man and the fruit hidden in the hay can hear the sounds of marching footsteps.
Oh, two! You, with the blue hat!
The streets fall silent after that. All the people around the lady with the blue hat, including the two hiding in the hay.
Gentlemen, is there something wrong?
What? That voice. Ha! I have a good feeling about this.
The encounter just beyond their hay-strewn lair
I've
continues.
never seen someone dressed like you before. Where are you from? What are you doing in Firenze?
I'm a visitor to Florence. Here's my identification.
Soldier waves his hand impatiently.
It doesn't matter. Tell me. You've seen a man in a grey hood pass by.
She glances over the corner of the street. Not far from view, a pile of hay lies gently rustling in the night air, looking entirely
That I know of.
inescapably invisible.
Something golden.
Soldier draws something like a circle in the air, clumsily.
Ah, she's useless. Continuam, oversee.
Yeah, I ain't reading all that. After a while, a voice rings out softly from just outside their hiding spot.
Right in there.
The voice hints at an unsuspected reunion.
Latin! Oh, this apple is ever so glad to see you again. If only I didn't look a right mess. Please, give me a minute.
With all the talk about a golden apple, I had a feeling I would find you here. Looks like luck's in my favor this time. But how did you get in here? Did you jump from that tower?
Yes.
It's a long story.
Buonasera, signora. You have my thanks for your assistance. Is she one of the friends you talked about, Apple?
That's right. This is Vertin, a most trustworthy friend and companion.
I appreciate the compliment, Mr. Apple.
This is Ezio Auditore, an assassin.
An assassin. Really.
Please, don't let the reputation of our name confuse you. We assassins kill, only when there is a just cause. But maybe I can explain later. The curfew will begin soon, and I'd like to avoid any further complications with the guards. My friend must be worried about us already.
To be continued. They are right to be continued because I am sleepy. $8,000. I need this though for my character. Also want these too. I'm not sure what this is, but I want it. Oh, that's the music, I think. Okay, anyway, that's gonna be it for me. It's gonna be all. I'm sleepy as heck. I might either do this later or another day. Usually I like to finish it all in one go, but I'm too sleepy. GG's, goodbye.